murdering 3 children at a Taylor Swift-themed holiday club at Southport has been named. Ruled defendant named Axel Ruda Cubana. During a hearing, teenage 10 counts of attempted murder. Blade article, kitchen knife with a curved blade. Kitchen knife with a what kitchen knife has a curved blade? I'm sure there is one. I just don't have it in my kitchen. Is it like a fillet knife? A fillet knife, that's it. Steak knife? A steak knife isn't curved, you fucking moron. The one that cuts bread? You're just saying shit. Why do I ask you guys anything? He looks like L here. This seems like a kid who needed crazy therapy and help. Doing this shit repeatedly so young means he needed... Oh, yeah, I'm... Pardon me for speaking hastily. I think that if a 17-year-old stabs 3, like, 5-year-old girls to death, they probably needed therapy at some point. I do believe that, yeah. I'm willing to come at that one, like, out the gate. Nigel Farage's response to stabbing inside the... Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I'm sure Nigel Farage was like, this is the, you know, black people, the immigrant black Muslims are destroying white Britain. Yeah, we know the line. We know the line. So what was the motivation? The 17-year-old used his left hand to pull his sweatshirt over his face above his nose and kept his head low during the 5-minute hearing, which he did not speak. Okay. Over 100 arrests. A police station was set on fire in Sunderland. 3 police officers were injured, several people arrested. There have been anti-racist counter-protests, sparked race riots. But I have to say, by the way, my understanding is that the anti-racist protest... Yeah, K-Comrade Robin Hood. The anti-racist protests have outnumbered the racist ones by far, and I have to say it's pretty delightful to see videos of the police hitting racists with batons. I'm in support of the right rioting as long as the police crack down on it, because I think it's funny. That's my main position. Police brutality against racists is a good thing. I don't even think it's police brutality. In the video that we saw, there were guys throwing bricks and bins at cops. That's not, like, that is battery against a police officer. That's not, like, when I think police brutality, I think of, like, the Black Lives Matter protests where you saw videos, like the old man who was he murdered, or did he just get hit in the head and lie face down to a pool of blood for nothing? Like, whereas the right wing is like, I think he survived. Yeah. He lived, I think. Well, that's good.
Children, the injured, the families. We will not tolerate racism. Not in this city, not in this country, not in this world.
I have no doubt whatsoever that the lovers out there far outnumber the haters. And that's what it's about. People coming together. We tend to find that people who are on the fringes of society, they're angry, they're very, very loud online when you go to these protests and rallies. But in reality, the vast majority of people just want to live a peaceful life.
So is it confirmed then that the stabber isn't even Muslim? His parents, originally from Rwanda, moved to the Southport area in 2013. At the time of the attack, he lived in Banks. Brought up in a Christian household. Oh, there you go. In 2018, when he was 11, he was cast in a BBC video as the doctor advertising children in need. Huh. The suspect has a diagnosis of autism and has reportedly been unwilling to leave the house and communicate with the family. Uh-oh. The little girls that were stabbed were at a Taylor Swift-themed dance event. Maybe he just really hates Taylor Swift. It would, after the Trump shooting, where it turns out that the shooter of a presidential candidate was just like a nobody loser with no real goals or motivations or whatever. Like, sure, why not? Historic race riots set off after a black kid doesn't like T-Swift, goes crazy, stabs some kids, you know? I don't want to be super, like, Machiavellian about this, because obviously this is all being done in the wake of several innocent girls being stabbed to death, which, again, as I iterated at the beginning of this, I think is a bad thing. I know people get wacky online. I want to be clear about that. That being said, I have to say, I feel like this makes the far right look pretty bad, you know? This is why I've said before that I don't necessarily know how I feel about the tactics of American Antifa, where it seems like their main job is to stand around, do nothing, and then, like, be used as a straw man for the right. Over here, we see the kind of like the opposite dynamic, where the far right is the one clashing with the police, and it makes them look psychotic, like burning down a police station, and the left is the one screaming like, fuck you Nazis, but not fighting the cops. Again, cops are the enemy, but they're also kind of like the point you pivot off of in the optics game, and optics is really important when we're talking about stuff like the treatment of immigrants or stopping the boats or whatever else, you know? Keep in mind that the Labour Party didn't really get a sweep in the last election. The only reason the Labour Party won in the way they did is because the vote got split in so many districts between the Tories, who were hated, and the Reform Party, which is Nazis. Again, like Tommy Robinson, Nigel Farage, thank you, yeah. Farage and Robinson being kind of like the headline figures for that. It's a Nazi movement. Tommy Robinson is unambiguously a white nationalist and a fascist. You know, Farage plays the optics game slightly better than Tommy Robinson does, but not much better. So, yeah. The demographics of the counter-protests are different too. Oh, you mean the classic dynamic of the far-right protests are all like failure-eyed fucking grizzly looking white guys who look like their kids never call them, like 40s, 50s goatee wearing fat white guys. And then you look at the anti-fascist protests and it's like a diverse rainbow of people of different ages and races, you know, united by purpose. Some Just Stop Oil protesters got sentenced to a record, I think, 5 years in prison for plans to engage in peaceful protest. They were planning to like shut down the roads. You know how Just Stop Oil likes gluing their assholes to the pavement to keep cars from moving around? They were going to do that, but like very big, and they got arrested for the plan, which is insane. Getting arrested for, I'm sorry, not getting arrested, getting sentenced to 5 years in prison for planning a peaceful protest. That's like record breaking. That's like it's insane, you know? The far-right protesters don't really have any group cohesion. They really do just look like a bunch of social dissidents coming out to a crowd. Whereas it's a mob. Whereas if you look at the anti-racist protesters, you see a bunch of people who look kind of like, with their signs and with their messaging and with their chants, united, you know? These guys look isolated and angry, but in a group. Inhuman. They don't look like they have any group cohesion. It literally just looks like a bunch of white men, like, coming out here to be angry and disagreeable. That's it. Tommy Robinson's video he posted after the first riot. Yeah, let's take a look at the official government responses. Hold on. So this is the Labour response. Red face full with a lot of criminal activity. When asked whether those involved are from the far right, he said, "Some individuals will have far right opinions, in my view. Some might be caught up in the summer madness. Some might be people who've got genuine concerns." Wow, thanks, Labour Party. Lenin sure was right about you. It has 10,000 dislikes. Wow, I'm smart. They're not happy about that framing. Whatever those concerns are, there are mechanisms where they can raise them with their member of parliament. They can peacefully protest and they can take those issues forward. Thank you, Labour Party. Literally like a bunch of Nazis burning police stations and attacking police officers. The Labour Party's like, okay, so maybe they have some legitimate concerns. Could they phrase them a little more nicely, please? Thanks. And then we have... let's see. Nigel Farage after the stabbing. This was on, or stabbings, July 30th.
Well, it's pretty horrendous. A third young girl has died as a result of the stabbings yesterday in Southport. I obviously join everybody in my horror at what has happened. I know the Prime Minister went to lay flowers and was heckled, and it shows you how unhappy the public are with the state of law and order in our country. I have to say there are one or two questions. Was this guy being monitored?
First of all, very important, this guy's suit looks like shit. Like actual shit. What the fuck? It looks like a sack.
By the security services. Some reports say he was, others less sure. The police say it's a non-terror incident. Just as they said the stabbing of an Army Lieutenant Colonel in uniform on the streets of Kent the other day was a non-terror incident. I just wonder whether the truth is being withheld from us. I don't.
It's crazy how fascists are always massive pussies. They can never just say their shit. They're always being disingenuous. They are always just asking questions. They can never say. So what he's trying to say here is that in order for something to be a terror incident, it has to be politically motivated. Terrorism isn't just when you kill people. You're doing like deliberate violence against a civilian population for political purposes. That's the general definition, right? The reason that police are saying that these are being investigated as non-terror incidents is because at present there's no evidence to indicate that these killings were done for a political purpose. So what he's suggesting here is, what if the police and the media and the government are lying to you and actually this was being done to destroy white people and they just won't tell that to you? But he won't even say that because he's a pussy. I have to do his interpretation for him. His audience knows what he's saying. It's just, they're so cowardly. Can you explain why his suit looks like shit? No, it defies comprehension.
Don't know the answer to that, but I think it is a fair